Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're in for another episode of Skate Battle featuring two amazing skaters. Now in this episode, we're stacking up two absolute Goliaths of inline skating, and that's David Sizemore going head-to-head with John Bolino. Now the sections that we're going to take a look at are two of my favorites, and David Sizemore's section is his profile in Champagne, and then John Bolino's is another one of my favorites, and that's his section in Pariah. So anyway, I invite you guys to take a look as we judge these two sections going head-to-head. Let me know which one you think is the emergent champion here, but they're both two amazing sections. Let's give it a look. All right, we're going to kick things off with David Sizemore's part in Champagne, and this was an exceptional video with a great cast of skaters here, and starting it off rough here as the turf monster reached up the asphalt and grabbed him by the ankle, brought him down. If you guys have ever skated before, which I'm sure you all have if you're watching this video, you know how that goes. The asphalt can be your best friend at times, but also worst enemy. Now, David Sizemore is a skater I've loved for a very long time, and I remember very fondly his part in I Rollerblade. Really cool video. He'd wear a helmet back then, was one of the drop rail and spin to win champions that's ever emerged from inline skating. And I feel like over the years, his skating has evolved to a point of creativity, really unique trick vocabulary, and just a creative eye for how he goes about doing things with a level of precision and confidence that you don't see very often from many skaters out there. Like this one coming in with the fakie 360 and then just going straight into that zero spin fish with almost no time at all to line that up. Take it up the rail on that one. This is what I'm talking about. He's got a lot of creativity. He'll just jump over with the mute grab into the really quick topsoul. Not the kind of trick that I would look at a spot and instantly think of something like that. So that creative flair definitely exists with Sizemore. Nice mute grab there. Another grab on the way out. Getting a lot of small rails in here, but with a diversity of tricks. Like even this one coming out into what looked like an outspin wall ride of sorts. Another wall ride there with a really steep bank going up. Looks like a really fun spot, if I'm being honest. Showing off the technicality and consistency with some of these lines. Luke Kang out of that big drop out rail. And then Sizemore has one of the nicest looking spins out there as well. I could never get bored of that. Nor could I get bored of fish brains, especially going through a tiny kink down there at the bottom. I like the secondary angle. You can see all the wheel marks. And you got the fish eye, you've got the long shot. Probably my favorite trick in this edit might be this one. I love hurricane topsouls, and what an obstacle to do that on. Now, it looks really fun, but I'm sure that's one of those spots that when you're up close and personal, much steeper of a bank, probably requires a lot more speed and awkward of an angle, but he made that look so smooth. Drop rail. Whenever I think of drop rails with David Sizemore, I think it was in State of the Art. There was a topsoul down a double spiral rail, double spiral drop rail. One of the all-time iconic tricks out there, if you ask me. Showcasing that level of balance on the backslide. That was very smooth. Probably my favorite of the one-footed tricks, too, if I'm being honest. I don't know how people are so good at torques and some of the other one-footed variations, but backslide, I'm all about the backslide. Big Soyel, and check out this mute grab on the way out. The way he landed on that, too, was just flawless. That's what you're going to get with Sizemore in a lot of tricks, too, as he has evolved over the years. Nice hurricane top acid on the underbar. Wasn't expecting to say that, but you're going to get that level of precision on his landings, on the approaches, and I think that's something he prides himself on, is being a very smooth but high-level skater. Like, look at this 540 mute grab over a massive gap. What a way to put an exclamation point on the section. All right, next we'll follow that up with John Bolino's profile in Pariah. This is another really strong video with a great cast of skaters, and the rewatchability on this video is off the charts. Even the cinematography here from the get-go has almost these Western vibes to it and kind of a hard rocker mentality, and that really matches up, I think, well with John Bolino's skating style. You get that sense based on the clothing, from the music selections, from the way he rolls away. Like, look at the excitement. He reminds me of a rock star. And I mean that, like, in terms of his aesthetic, but also in terms of his skating. This time we'll go up the rail, 540 over the curb, and I don't know how he carried enough speed to make it over that, but that's one of those little details that I think is worth noting here in the commentary. 270 backslide going down the down ledge. Really cool spot here too. There's some comparability between the styles and sensibilities of these two skaters, and I think that's why they make such a great pairing. Tiny little bank going up to this one, and the fish brain, I don't know how we got that 360 out of there, but that 360 would not be easy, especially crouched down that low on the fish brain. Another gap coming in. Interesting rail. And look at that 360 as well, how crouched up he was into it. John Bolino's one of those characters that's also had amazing spins over all of the years. I think back to Too Much Love 2, a local video made here in Minnesota, and John Bolino did massive 540 gap spinning in both directions. And so his technicality is also off the charts. Look at this spot. Taking it from rail to ledge. Really interesting spot. You got to watch out for the crack at the bottom of this one. This looks like it's giving him all sorts of trouble. And he's going to land right in it and just roll through it. Like I said, he's a rock star. Could have gone around it, but, you know, why not get vengeance on the crack that had caused you to trip up multiple times? Coming in a lot of speed here, another big gap. Interesting landing, too, because it was like a 90-degree angle with the downslope. I'm not sure if that would make it harder or easier. I guess it could redirect the speed a little bit, but definitely awkward in how it would put pressure onto the feet. Really cool spot here, too, like angled wall. It's just itching for a wall ride, and he indulges us. Got to give the people what they want, and we want more wall rides. You can never have too many. Double grabbing on that one. I have no idea what's going on with this spot, some modern architecture or something, but artistic spot, artistic trick. It's like it was meant to be. Another scary looking spot. Yeah, this one's going to be a tough call in terms of the artistry and the style and creativity, especially in spot selection, because I do think these two skaters are so comparable, David Sizemore, John Bolino, in terms of their eye for skating. That would be a scary 360. And props to the second camera angle. Like, the fisheye makes it look big, but I think the distance and the perspective coming from that second angle makes all the difference. So, like the cinematography of that. And it helps when you got Farmer hyping you up, too. Another one of the all-time iconic tricks. Probably the biggest grind-to-wall ride that I can recall. That is massive. And it makes perfect sense that he has the whole entourage, the whole audience down there to cheer him on and give him the much-needed motivation to even attempt something like that. So again, exclamation point at the end of the profile. All right, now that we've watched these two sections, here comes the tricky part, judging which one will emerge victorious, and we have 4 criteria to break down. First, we have trick vocabulary, and from a technical standpoint, I would give this to David Sizemore. I like some of the variety he brings into his tricks and on the different obstacles, the spins on the way in and out, the grabs, sometimes even a double grab. But in terms of amplitude, I'd have to give this one to John Bolino. That's not to say that David Sizemore doesn't have amplitude. He's proven time and time again that he does, but John Bolino had a number of hammers in this section that are just some of the most iconic that I've seen. Overall, I'm giving the edge to John Bolino here. In terms of style and creativity, we're going to flip the script and give this one to David Sizemore. He is just one of the most hypnotic skaters I've ever seen, with fluidity that's unmatched. Having said that, both of these skaters have amazing style and creativity. They're 2 of my personal favorites in both of these sections. Looking at the cinematography, this is a section that I'd have to give to John Bolino as well. I feel like the overall filming, the color correction, the music, it was all done to fit his personal aesthetic. It has that raw, visceral rocker flavor to it through some of the B-roll, and it's just a really well put together section that I've watched a bunch of times, and I'm sure I'll watch a bunch more times in the future. Finally, with the impact and innovation, again, this is a tough one because both of these videos are 2 of the best videos produced, like, ever. And both sections are iconic in their own rights. They have major tricks, technical tricks, and there's nothing not to like about them. Still, though, the one that has stayed with me longer, the one that's more notable to me, more iconic, is going to be John Bolino's section here. In particular, I wanted to highlight the top sole wall ride out from John Bolino. One of the most iconic tricks, and that one is amazing. But also, I like a couple of the David Sizemore tricks. That big 540 at the end is otherworldly. And I'm still going to say it, but the hurricane topsole on that really steep bank to ledge is a thing of beauty. Some of my favorite tricks in these videos. Anyway, guys, now I turn the question to you. Which of these two sections do you think prevails? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to give some love to John Bolino and to David Sizemore, two of the best that rollerblading has to offer. I'm Butch Lehman, wrapping it up from Roll, Minnesota, and reminding you to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. We'll see y'all with the next video. Till then, peace, everybody.